Over the last 6 months, I've been working on my art to make it my job one day, beginning with where I started in January. This was the very first drawing I did at the beginning of the year. This is the drawing that I'll be comparing my most recent drawing to at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. There's no face, the anatomy is non-existent, and the clothes are quite basic. Throughout the last 6 months, I focused on skills needed to draw characters, from anatomy to fabric fold. I started off with improving my arm anatomy, but I quickly realised that I struggled most with the legs at this stage. After numerous studies, I eventually got them to look somewhat correct consistently. But there's an obvious issue here. What is that? I spent more than 15 hours on head studies in total. Some were useful, such as these reference studies. Others, however, were quite useless, like these lighting studies. Overall, it was quite useful. This is how my heads were before the studies, and this was after the studies. But there's another thing wrong. Something's missing. The hands. Oh, the hands. As we've all had to figure out, hands are so annoying to draw at first. Because of this, these are some of my old drawings. Notice anything? No hands. I've drawn hands twice before I started studying them. In these two drawings, I consistently have 3 specific issues. The finger shapes are weird, their placement is even worse, and the hand perspective is flat out wrong. Special mention to how I deemed the first hand so hard to draw in this drawing that I just refused to draw the other one. To solve these issues, I chose the most rational method available to me, drawing 100 hands in a week. I'm not okay. I've got a dedicated video and short on this if you want this information in more detail, but the gist of this is I drew more than 100 hands in 5 batches with 5 distinct references, and then did 1 full character drawing. These are all 102 hands. And here is the final drawing after all of the hand practice. I did 1 other hand drawing with the same reference as the last, and a few other drawings with and without references such as this one. My anatomy obviously isn't perfect, and I plan to do further studies in the coming weeks, but considering where I started in January, this is definitely a major improvement. Later in the year, I decided to improve my character design from these basic drawings up to more detailed character-driven designs. I think that I got much better at character design as I went. I started off with random features that didn't show anything about the character, to a drawing that most obviously shows her characteristics. After working on my character design, I realised one big thing. Where are the folds? Before my practice, I almost never drew clothing with folds in them. Eventually, I started drawing folds, but only by copying what I'd seen other artists do without understanding why they were doing it. I started off watching the video linked in the description and drew these studies. Then I moved on to proper photo studies I got from Pinterest. I did a check-in drawing which in my opinion looks pretty decent, and then continued to focus on my weak spots. After more studies, I created 1 final character drawing. This drawing combines everything I have learned over the last 6 months with the exception of character design. This is because it's just an older OC. The general anatomy is so much better. Her legs are good, and while her arms can be improved, they look better than my old arms for sure. Her head anatomy is more realistic, and she has hands now. Her clothes also look a bit better. The skirt has a lot of folds now, making it more realistic, and the lighting is more correct. This time I used a proper light source when I didn't used to do that previously. Overall, I've spent about 182 hours drawing within the last 6 months. I think that my art has gotten a lot better over this time. In the coming months, I plan to focus more on the fundamentals, like colour, as well as character design and male anatomy. If you're interested, I'll be making a video on my sad attempts at drawing men in the coming months, so subscribe for that. Put in the comments what you're doing in order to improve your own art. There are more in-depth versions of this video on my channel, with a long-form monthly series on what I did to improve my art each month, and a weekly short series for what I did that week. If you're interested in that, the long-form series is on my YouTube, while the shorts can be found on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I also have videos on specific things I spent a notable amount of time learning, such as my 100 hands video. If this interests you, feel free to subscribe to see future versions. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to my channel. That's the end of this video. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.